well, we're now going to look at how the game has progressed over the next couple of moves in this match of me, the Master, Grandmaster, versus you guys, the Many. So are more heads better than one head? And the game has been very, very interesting so far because it started as a King's Gambit. So we're bound to get some good, exciting chess in. And I think earlier on in the game, potentially your idea of bishop c5 lost a bit of time because I was able to now get the centre with d4 and gain a tempo by kicking your queen away of knight to f3, but we analysed that in the last videos. And this position here on move 7 was where we left the game. So we left it here, and I was trying to, kind of in my last video, trick you into tempting you to capture this pawn on e4. So what's going on in the position? Well, for the plus side for me, for white, if we just have a look at it, I've got a very good centre, 2 pawns in the centre, it's got to be good. And I've got 3 pieces developed. On the other hand, you've really only got 1 piece developed, the bishop. I won't include the queen because the queen can just be a target earlier on. But on the downside for me, my king is misplaced. If I was castled here, I'd be very happy. So that's misplaced, meaning I'm playing a rook down. My rook on h1 can't get in the game. Maybe later on I'll try to castle by hand, as we say, with king f2 and rook e1. But I don't think that's the most important thing to consider in this position. Now, very wisely, you didn't fall into my little trick of capturing on e4. Instead, you played d6, which I think is a good move. Well done, guys, for not falling for my setup there. Now, had you captured on e4, winning a pawn, this looks incredibly dangerous for you because you're neglecting your development. You're opening up the e-file for a rook later on, and it just looks wrong. You're wasting too much time. It's not worth a pawn, surely, to take this pawn on e4. Now, what was I planning here? Well, originally I was looking at the interesting option of going bishop takes f7 check, which looked quite strong, because if you take this bishop, I would have had knight g5 check, winning your queen. So that was a very tempting option for me, but then I wasn't so sure what was going on with something like king to f8, because I actually now have 2 pieces being attacked here. And if I move the bishop on f4, is it worth winning this pawn so far? I don't know. I thought, as Nimzovich said, the threat is stronger than the execution. So I think the way I would have played this, because I like having your king on e8, because if I get a rook to e1, bang, there we go. So I think the way I'd have played this would be try to clear the back rank and simply try to get a rook to e1 quickly. So logically, I've got to defend my bishop and clear the back rank. So I think a simple move like queen d2 was the move I'd consider here. And now I'm aiming to go knight to c3, developing with tempo, attacking your queen, and then rook to e1 next. And all of a sudden, my pieces come flooding into your position, and you could lose this game extremely quickly. And we can also see here the threat of bishop takes f7 is still there. That's still an idea. I don't need to play it straight away because I don't think you're going to run away from this idea. I mean, let's now say you play a move like knight to f6. Well, here, bishop takes f7 is very tempting. But also, let's just say I continue with my plan, knight c3, gaining a tempo on your queen. You have to move your queen again. Where do you move your queen to? Very hard to find a good square for the queen. If you keep it on the e-file, I have rook to e1, winning the queen. And if you move it to this square or this square, well, it doesn't look right. Maybe you can survive, but as we can see, I've got a very big initiative with the rook coming to e1 check. And now, let's say king f8. I can even go rook e5 here. And your queen is just getting chased around horribly. And I've got a monstrous attack here. So you were very wise not to capture this, as we say in chess, poisoned pawn. This poisoned pawn, like poisoned ivy. You don't want to take that ivy, you'll get stung. So you played d6. Good move. Trying to get a bit more control of the e5 square, which I think is important. I continued with a simple developing move, knight c3. ideas are coming into d5, trying to again annoy your queen. You developed a piece, knight to f6, and here you are one move away from castling. You want to castle kingside, when I don't think your position would be that bad at all. Maybe you're actually, well, I wouldn't say better, but you're certainly fine there. So I thought here, my next move is very principled. Your king is in the centre. Okay, my king's not great, but I have 4 pieces developed. You only have 2 pieces really developed, the bishop and knight. So in a situation like this, it makes sense to try to use my development advantage and open up the position while your king is still there. So the move I've elected to play is e5. And this is a way to try to open up the board, try to get to your king before you can castle. Tempo, speed is so important in chess. I create a threat against your knight. Hopefully I could continue with knight d5 or bishop g5 in some situations to continue or build an attack. So that's where we stand. So after the move e5, we're getting a very interesting sequence of events coming up, and it's over to you guys to decide what you want to do. You can join in the game by clicking the link below, which I'll post below down there somewhere, and join in, and you can leave your comments on the game on chess.com. Get involved, should be fun. And like I say, I'll do these videos every probably three or so moves. So there we go. Good luck, guys, and I await to see how you're going to respond.